you need to learn to solve a question faster than 90 seconds. Okay, let me show you how students usually read and solve the question, and you might be at this stage as well. So let me put timer next to this, and I'll also magnify this so that it's easier to read. And I'll just start. An analyst has established the following probabilities from his EPS exceeding, equaling, or below. Okay, 25, 55, 20. Several days have before releasing an answer cut. Considering analyst wise his opinion, company will have EPS below the estimate. Okay. Estimates likelihood company will cut the dividend. Given that EPS exceeds is as follows. Okay. Cut given exceeded. Okay. The probabilities are the analyst therefore determines that the unconditional probability for a cut in the dividend is equal to 23.75 using base formula. The company closest to okay. So I need to use the base formula, and it's asking me to find P of EPS below given the cut has happened. Okay, so this is equal to into P of cut equal to P of cut by EPS below into P of EPS below. Okay, so we have this as equal to P of cut into cut by EPS is 85 multiplied by what is this? P of 20 divided by P of cut, which is 23.75. Okay, so 85 into 20 divided by 23.75. Oops. 85 into 20 divided by 75. Go to 71 point. So the answer is 72. Okay. What? And how much time did it take us? 2 minutes. So 10 seconds. So it took us close to 2 minutes. 10 seconds you can assume it to be me entering the items wrongly in the calculator probably. As you can see, it took me more than 90 seconds to read through it and solve through it. And I'll just explain what a normal student does and observe when I show you how you are supposed to solve the question. I do not do these mistakes. So first thing that I was doing was verbalizing the question under my breath. I was reading it, trying to follow it with the mouse. I was reading each and every word an analyst has established, etc. I was reading through the table. I was reading through everything. And then I reached in the end, found what was required of me. And then I started filling out the values in the scratch pad, which you will be given on the exam day, and then putting it into calculator and then finding the answer. So this is the normal way that students do it. Now let me show you a much faster way of how we teach students to do it and how the Master CFA app will train you to do this every day. So I will reset the timer. I will also remove everything from Scratchpad, and I'll also reset the calculator. Okay. I will first solve the question and then I will show you my thinking process behind it. So let me zoom in and let me start the timer. Base formula needed, EPS below is needed. Okay, cut EPS below is given, and we need EPS by cut. So we have the table above. Okay, so EPS by cut is equal to cut by EPS into EPS into cut by this thing. Okay, so cut by EP 85 into EPS is 20 divided by 23.75. Okay, so 85 20 into 4 by 100, 80, 85 into 80, 640 plus 40, 680, 68. It should be more than 68, 72. So I'll mark 72. Okay. So close to 60 seconds, and I know the answer is 72. Now let me walk you through the thinking process, how I have actually done this question in less than 90 seconds. And obviously I was verbalizing things under my breath. I won't do that when I'm in exam mode. I would directly just solve it. So this is pattern recognition training, and you need to train yourself by seeing more questions. There's no other way around it. The first mistake the students usually do, which I showed you previously, was that they start reading the question word for word from the beginning. This is not required. First thing that you need to do, let me show you by setting the timer again on this as well. First thing, you look at the options. If the options are calculation based, they will require a little bit more time than if they were direct application based or conceptual question answer, right? After that, you need to look at the last line of the question stem. The last line will actually tell you what is required, what you need to calculate. So within 5 to 6 seconds, let me just start the timer. I just look at the options. Okay, I look at the last line. It says base formula updated probability. So now within 3 or 4 seconds, I know if base formula is my strength, I will do it right here, right now. If I feel the question is too long and requires a lot of variables, then I'll probably mark it. But I know that it's calculation based. It requires base formula. I know what is base formula. It is conditional probability. P A by B into P of B equal to P B by A into P of A. So the next thing I look, after I've seen the red part, this is the first thing that I need to see. Then I look at the values in the table of the data that I need. So I need probability of EPS below. I need probability of cut dividend. I need probability of cut dividend given that EPS below has happened. So I just look at the tables. I do not read whatever is the information given above the tables till it is necessary, because the tables are pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to go through all of the story several days before releasing its earning statement. The story is meaningless to me. It does not carry any weight. I do not need to remember it. Why am I wasting my time reading this story about analyst doing something? It does not carry over to the next question. So I just read the tables. I find out what I need. And if there is a missing piece like cut dividend, that is where I search in the remaining story. So if you look at the green box, that is the last piece of information that I need. Now, all of this can be done within 30 seconds if I am in active searching mode instead of a passive reading mode when I'm solving a question. Next thing comes up is using the scratchpad. If you remember previously, I had written the formula down, P of cut by EPS, etc. into this thing. But when I'm actually in exam mode, I do not need to write formulas on scratchpad, right? Why do I need to look at formula when I already know it? I do not need to show my working. I just need to mark it on screen. So I will directly just write the values that I need to calculate. If you remember, last time I had also taken the calculator out and put the values in, but this time I did not. And this is something that you need to learn, because a lot of times mental arithmetic will be much faster than you inputting values in the calculator, making a mistake, and then coming back to solving it again. So sometimes I've seen candidates, and even I am guilty of this, that they'll put even basic calculations of multiplication and arithmetic into calculator. Something as simple as 22 multiplied by 22 or 20 multiplied by 21, they will put it into the calculator just to be double sure. But you need to learn mental arithmetic, because not only it will help you in the exam, it will also help you on the job or while you are on the interviews. Imagine if you are very good at doing back of the envelope calculations and getting to ballpark figures faster. Even during your interviews, when you have case studies, you will be able to impress the interviewers. While you are on the job, there would be a lot of people, the chaos of information everywhere. And if you are able to cut through the insights and add a layer of basic arithmetic over it, you will be able to make decisions faster. So what I did in this was, I know I need to multiply 85 into 20 divided by 23.75. So last time I had taken this calculation into calculator. The only thing I realized is that division by 23.75 is the one which is tougher. The top part, 85 multiplied by 20, that's easy. 85 into 2 is 170 and then becomes 1700. So what I usually do is, instead of dividing by 23.75, I'll divide it by something closer, which is easier. So I'll divide it by 25. And what can I write 25 as? I can write it as 100 by 4. So similarly, if the value was closer to 22, I would have divided it by 20, and I can write 20 as 100 by 5. So these are little arithmetic tricks that you will learn or probably would have learned in high school as well. And you can relearn it here with Master CFA. So now this becomes very easy, right? It's 85 multiplied by 80, which is 68. So I know the answer needs to be more than 68 because I have divided by 25, which is a higher number, whereas I needed to divide by 23.75. So the closest value to 68 is 72. So I'll just mark this and go. Now